Hello, good morning, everyone. In this today's session, just I want to discuss something about the introduction about the spur gears, which is a most important component in the case of mechanical engineering. So generally, whenever we talk about the motion from one shaft to the other, that is, motion is transmitted with the help of we know that belt drives, rope drives, chain drives, as well as the gear drives. So when we just see the application point of view, when the that is when motion is transmitted between the shafts, when the distance is too large, maybe 50 meters or 60 meters or probably 100 meters, generally the rope drives are used. Whenever we talk about the belt drives, whenever the distance between the two shafts is 5 to 6 meters, the belt drives are used. And when the distance between the two shafts is maybe 1 meter or 1.5 meters maximum, generally when you talk about the two wheelers, the chain drives are used. But when we talk about the gear drive, when the distance between the two shafts is small, generally the gear drives are used. Then what exactly it is a gear? Generally, the gear is defined as a toothed element which is used for transmitting rotary motion from one shaft to the other. Or, as it is written, gear drive is a positive drive and it is provided when the distance between the driver and the follower is very small. Now, when you talk about the gears, the gear drive consists of two wheels. Generally, the small wheel is known as the pinion, and the bigger gear is known as the generally it is a gear. So, gears are defined. It is the toothed element on its periphery, which is used to transmit the motion. It's used to transmit the motion between the two shafts, and the distance, as I told you, the distance between the shaft is too small. There are a number of advantages and disadvantages of the gear drives. So as it is written, it is a positive drive because of positive contact between the two gears, that is the pinion and as well as the gear. So efficiency is high, it is compact in size, and wherever you want you can just move, and it can transmit large power ratio with low velocity. Some of the advantages of the gear. Whenever we talk about the disadvantages, generally as far as the manufacturing is concerned, the cutting cost is more, manufacturing cost is more, and difficult to manufacture. So alignment of the shaft is required, and generally because of a positive contact the friction is generated. So to reduce the friction, and naturally know that whenever we talk about the friction, the heat is generated, and to reduce the heat and friction it requires lubrication in every time. Next we talk about different types of gears. So the gears are as it is written, depending upon the position of the shafts. There is a different depending upon the shaft positions. The gears can be classified as parallel shaft gears, intersecting shaft gears, non-intersecting and perpendicular shaft axis gears, non-intersecting and non-perpendicular shaft axis gears. So it is written in detail in the form of the block diagram, the classification of the gears in the figure. Next one is let us talk about the parallel shaft axis gears. So as it is the name itself is telling, the shafts are parallel. That is the driving shaft as well as the driven shaft, both are parallel in nature. So they are classified as spur gear, helical gears, herringbone gears, rack and pinion, and the internal gears. Generally, whenever we talk about the gears, we generally assume it as the spur gear, because The spur gears are, no, with respect to spur gears only we are going to discuss about generally in this entire session or in this entire chapter. We'll be discussing about the spur gears only. As it is written on the, as it is shown in the screen, whenever we talk about the spur gears are used to transmit the motion between the two parallel axis shafts. They are the simplest of all the gears and easy to manufacture. The teeth of the spur gears are cut along the periphery and parallel to the axis of the gears. So it is shown in the figure. And generally the spur gears are made of steel, brass and other metals and the plastics. So a lot of advantages are there. And when you talk about the disadvantages of the spur gears, generally they are not suitable for high speed production, and the operation of spur gear is generally noisy. They are generally used in tool gearbox, automobile gearbox, watches, etc. The second category is the helical gears. Helical gears are similar to the spur gears, and teeth are cut at an angle with the axis of rotation of the gear. So these gears can transmit motion from one shaft to other shaft which are parallel to each other. The helix angles of the gear and the pinion are same in magnitude but different hands. For example, right hand pinion measures with the left hand gear. So naturally, whenever we talk about the helical gears, they are more quiet compared to the spur gears. Teeth of helical gears are stronger than the spur gears. Efficiency is more. But the disadvantage is that since the helical part is involved, so it is difficult to manufacture when compared to the spur gears, and the friction heat generation is more. Naturally, the wear aspect is also high, and due to these aspects, they are very expensive to manufacture. Now, let me talk about the herringbone gears. So, it is as it is clearly shown, the herringbone gears. The herringbone gears looks like two single helical gears, one right hand and another left hand. These gears reduces the end thrust, acting on the thrust on the bearings, and they are used to transmit the motion from one shaft to the other shaft which are parallel to each other. They are also generally called as double helical gears. Main disadvantage of herringbone gears is they are naturally difficult to manufacture, and cost is also very high, hence it is more expensive. Machining of teeth of these gears is very difficult. So when one gear burns out, one teeth burns out, naturally it is very difficult to do the machining. Generally, of course, whenever we talk about the application point of view, so they are used in high speed applications, generally heavy duty machinery. Next one is just I will talk about the rack and pinion. Rack and pinion gears. So this rack and pinion gears are widely used whenever we talk about the mechanical engineering point of view. So generally a rack is a straight gear which has no curvature, and it represents the gear of infinite radius. So a rack is a gear which is having helical teeth on its periphery, having infinite radius, and rack gears may have either straight or helical teeth. So pinion is again, as we discussed, it is a gear on its periphery. So it is circular in cross section. Generally the rack gear meshes with the pinion and converts rotary motion of the pinion to the reciprocatory motion of the rack. Whenever we talk about the escalators in airports, this type of gears are used. Next one is the internal gears. So as the word itself it is telling, internal gears. So generally the internal gears can carry the teeth on their peripheries or external surfaces, but internal gears have teeth on their inner surfaces which may be spur or helical. It is very important to note that in the case of the internal gears, both the wheels rotate in the same direction. That is, both the gears will rotate in the same direction. Whenever we talk about the herringbone gears, the helical gears, and the other gears that what we discussed, that is the helical gears, the gears will rotate, both the gears will rotate in the opposite direction. That is whereas in the case of the internal gears, both the gears will rotate in the same direction. So main advantage of these internal gears are they are closer together, therefore less space is required, so there is less friction is generated, efficiency is high. So whenever we talk about the applications, they are used in internal clutches and heavy vehicle drives. This is what the internal gears. And next one, I want to briefly talk about the intersecting shaft axis. As it is shown in the screen, for transmitting motion between the two intersecting shafts, the shaft axes are intersected, and to have the motion, we generally make use of the bevel gears. The surface of the bevel gear is like a frustum of a cone, and its size decreases towards the apex. Generally, the bevel gears are used when the two shafts are right angles to each other, but it can be used at any desired shaft angle. And when you talk about the application point of view, generally in the drilling machine, we make use of this type of bevel gears. Similarly, the spiral gears are also one of the example of the intersecting shaft axis, where the teeth are spiral in nature and the two shaft axes are intersecting to each other. So this is what the brief introduction about the gears. And as far as the subject point of view is concerned, in the case of when we just talk about different aspects of the gears, we consider the gears as the spur gears, and we discuss the various. Probably generally as far as the application point of view is concerned, the spur gears are widely used. This is what brief introduction about the spur gears and the chapter the gears. Thank you.